Cordial and kind greetings to you. My name is Gloria Marcela Anacona, and now I'm going to present you the ongoing thesis advances. So the title of my research study, is Analysis of Communicative Strategies, Use and Interactions between Level A1 English students and native English speakers at a Language Institute in St. Augustine, Huila. The research problem. So I had identified that due to pedagogical gap that favors grammar over communication in the public institutions here in the San Agustin, there is a disconnection between learning and real life application of English language. So this limited the functional oral proficiency, the fluency, vocabulary, and confidence of use the language, and hinders the students' ability to use English spontaneously with native speakers. Here in the town where I live, it is a touristic place, so it is common to observe people from different countries that visit us and use the English as a tool to communicate with the local community. So decide to implement some strategies in order to integrate those native speakers as volunteers to interact with students of the English language club. So for that reason emerged this question: how does contextual communicative interaction with native speakers influence the oral production in English of A1 students at a language institute in St. Augustine, Huila? So the main objective is to analyze the impact of contextual communicative interaction with native speakers on strengthening the oral production in English of A1 students here in St. Augustine. The population are students of the Smart Mind English Club. This is a club located in St. Augustine, and it is outside the town, so it is considered a rural area. So the sample are 12 students belonging to the A1 level, are intentionally selected based on criteria such as consistent attendance, active willingness to participate in communicative interactions, the continuity in playing sessions of the club. The research method and instruments. So the research approach of this thesis is qualitative, to deeply study language in use, focusing on meaning and the context and those things that influence the process of English language learning, the culture, the near context. The research design is a descriptive ethnographic design which allows for the observation and analysis of spontaneous communicative practices in real scenarios. Mm, I decided to use this ethnographic design in order that we as teachers, as some researchers said, we as teachers are ethnographers because we are immersed into our classrooms, and also we observe our students, their behaviors, attitudes, yeah, things that happens in the classrooms. So integrated to this descriptive ethnographic design, um, I integrate also some strategies of an action research to provide a study um, a transformative level, if I can say it, in order to implement some strategies and moving from diagnosis, the initial level, and then the implementation of those activities, and finally to evaluate the impact of those activities on students. So this research is not merely descriptive but leads directly to local practical reflection and improvement of the communicative practice. This is not generalized because um, I consider this study could be applied in places where there are high level or high numbers of touristic visitors that we can integrate that as volunteers in the practice of English language learning and the improvement of oral communicative strategies or the oral production. So the instruments that I use are participant observations, semi-structured interview, pre and post, and field diaries. The data analysis procedure. This is a descriptive analysis. Um, the first thing that I made was to organize the data, doing the transcription and the structuring of the data into word matrices in order that then be easier to code and categorize them. Um, I decided to use this manual because the population need is not too huge. After doing that, there is an open and actual coding. The first one is open coding, identifying and classifying meaningful units related to communicative strategies. After doing that, there is an actual coding that emerge new um, codes or subcategories doing this actual coding. I also design an operational matrix that sorts data into meaningful categories: fluency, non-verbal strategies, confidence. After that, I validate the data doing a triangulation using the interviews, observation, and recordings in order to validate those information that I found or the codes that were found. And after systematically present the data doing the report. Data analysis, categories, and subcategories. After doing the coding, merge some categories like oral comprehension, initial interaction, communicative strategies, didactic strategies, improvements in oral production and added use, and also some subcategories like verbal fluency, pronunciation, communicative confidence, verbal and nonverbal collaborative learning, fluency, and vocabulary confidence. Oh, and here is the evidence. This is a matrix that I said before. Um, First, this matrix respond to the specific objectives of my research. For example, here I have to characterize the initial level of oral production. So I merge some categories after doing the coding. Um, the oral comprehension, subcategories, verbal fluency, pronunciation, and after doing the actual coding, merge another dimensions: the speed, continuity, the pauses in the verbal fluency, the clarity, intonation, and pronunciation. Those categories, and this is um, this is supported by authors and definitions, and also I made an interpretation of these categories and subcategories that reinforce the information and the evidence. And here is another evidence that it is the matrix of codification, the interview, semi-structured interview. Uh, Here are the codes, the answers, and also the field diaries analysis as evidence.